People always ask me what my favorite gemstone discovery was, and I'd have to say it was a ruby. It was a ruby that was discovered in Vietnam. It was a 1.3 kilo ruby that I just didn't expect it to be there in the middle of nowhere. It was in the north of Vietnam. It was in an area called Luc Yen, and in the Yen Bai province. And somebody came up to me and said, I have a 1.2 kilo ruby. And I thought it would be another one of those bricks. And I said, yeah, sure, go ahead and bring it over. It was in the night, actually, and we were leaving in the morning. And the gentleman brought it. It was wrapped in a towel. I opened it up, and I kept on talking to my friends, thinking that this was just another rock. And I took my light, my little torchlight, and I put it underneath the crystal. And I was talking, and as I turned it on, the entire room just turned completely red. I mean, everything around just turned red. We ended up cutting a huge collection out of it that went all over the world. All the big jewelry houses ended up getting those big stones. People ask me, why did I cut that 1.2 kilo piece? Well, the truth is that I tried to save the piece because I knew eventually what would happen to it. And I tried sending it to all the museums around the world, trying to have it saved, literally, because my partners were Indian and they had invested a lot of money into it together with me. And they had a majority share over that piece. And what happened was I sent it to California, I sent it to New York, I sent it everywhere, to reputable mineral dealers. The piece had a wax cover on it. So when I say wax, it wasn't wax, it was actually very waxy looking, but inside was the gem. So the first feeling from the people was that there was nothing inside of it, but actually there was a huge treasure inside. And to make a long story short, what happened was the piece ended up not being purchased by anybody for it wasn't even a lot of money. We were at that time selling it for in the hundreds of thousands, not millions. And people still refused, which is interesting because this was indeed a treasure, and the outside perception of what people thought of it, including a lot of experts, they felt that it didn't have any value. Soon after, without my knowledge, the stone went back to my Indian partners. I was involved in Burma at that time, so I wasn't following through with it, but they requested to be sent back. They knew that my reaction would be very negative if they started cutting it. The next thing you know, I arrived into Jaipur and found the piece had been already cut up into a lot of pieces, and broke my heart to this day because it wasn't even photographed. So there was no record of it and everything else. So they cut it into smaller pieces because there's a lot of planes inside. Some areas are clean, some areas are not clean. But the saddest part about the whole story is that it was never photographed in its entirety as a full piece. So the only thing that remains, and perhaps one of the reasons that for me I like to speak about it, is that the only memory that remains is in my mind, and there's no way to fully describe what I saw.